Started. So everybody feel free to count us in or whatever. And
5, 4, 3, 2. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Next Round Sports. This is Chris Porter with Caleb Culver and Jeff Amos. Welcome again to another Manning Cast type podcast here tonight. As we
you gotta
are,
do it when the Mavs are in the final.
They are Mavs in the finals here against Boston, down 2-0. First game back in Dallas here, game 3. We've just got into the start of the second quarter. Wanted to start earlier, but due to some technical difficulties on my side, we had to start a little bit later. So we're here at the start of the second quarter. Dallas up 31-30 here. And really, as well as they played starting off the game, it's really just sad how they only had a 1-point lead going there into the second quarter.
Yep. Yeah, this very discouraging start. If you're Dallas, I mean, you start up.
Well, discouraging finish to the first quarter.
Right.
Great start, but yeah.
Start within the start, yes.
Yes, there you go.
I mean, Derek White has done nothing for Boston. Jason Tatum's the only guy that's done anything, and then you haven't really taken advantage of it. The only one positive is that we saw Kyrie in the first part of the first quarter show up. He has 9 points right now. Luka's playing as he's always been, lights out. But once again, we've got nothing from PJ Washington or frankly anyone else in this game so far. So
it's been Kyrie Irving pretty much
in the game so far.
A little hit or miss lately.
Yeah, in this game, but in the whole series so far, Luka has been the only one to do anything. Up to this point of this game, Luka is the only Maverick player with multiple three-pointers. If you look down through it, besides Luka, 5 other players in the Mavericks have made three-pointers in this series, and each of them have only made one. Luka's leading the entire. Luka right now is leading in points scored per game in the finals. After that, it's 7 Celtics before you get to the next Maverick.
That's not a good stat.
No, and Kyrie, did not make a three-pointer in games 1 or game 2. Finally,
he couldn't buy a bucket out in Boston, but yeah, he showed up so far early in this game.
And also, too, if your name is not Luka Doncic, you're going into this game, everyone else on the Mavs from 3 shooting 22%. If you want to beat Boston, that's just not good enough. You're going to get your ass kicked again.
At this point, the Mavericks should be just doing what Boston's doing. Just start jacking up threes and seeing until it falls, because that's what Boston seems to do. Even when they're off and they're not hitting, they're just still jacking up threes left and right. They've shot over the season. I mean, Boston shot more threes than any other team this season.
What was that, Luka? That's
second in three-pointers.
Double dribble.
Mavericks. Do you know what the difference between Boston and Dallas was in 3 points attempted this season?
Good question.
Yeah, Mavericks.
I don't know.
See that, I believe.
240 more threes.
Jesus Christ.
Boston, there's many three. I can't remember the exact number that they shot, but to get to second place, which was Dallas, 240 more threes they shot this season. That is absurd. Absolutely absurd.
That's pretty crazy.
No,
and that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep jacking up threes and hitting them, just like they just did, taking the lead back. That's what they did in Boston the last 2 games. Every time you thought you had a leader, you thought we got something rolling, they'd go jack up a couple threes, which they're hitting. In game 1, it was absurd.
Well, the refs still fucked them in League 3, yeah. But
game 1 was just
made it close. I mean, the refs started all of a sudden, the second half of the third quarter, all of a sudden the Mavs couldn't buy a foul, and everything went Boston's way as far as calls go, and just killed the momentum.
In game 1, the minute Kristaps Porzingis came in, like he was in the WWE, waving to the crowd and everything else, it just that was the Mavericks.
I think with the Bill Walton death and home and them trying to redeem themselves, I mean that was all going in Boston's favor. I mean, game one, I figured they would win anyway. I didn't expect it to be as big a blowout as it was.
Yeah, but Kristaps had the game of his life. He stepped in there. It was unbelievable.
And now he's the unicorn we know and love in game 2 and game 3 with this weird injury.
Yeah, no one's ever heard of this injury before.
Yeah.
There were so many people talking about this injury, and I've heard it all.
How is
Joel, who joined us on the podcast, was like, "Oh, he's out for this. He's out for the series." And I was like, "Everything I've heard is he's just day to day. I mean, he is out in this game today, and you can already see the difference.
He got another freak tendon issue. Yeah,
it is. I mean, that's what happens. He gets injured in weird, strange ways. But the fact is, you can already see in this game the difference it is that they're able to attack. Like in the first quarter, the Mavericks had one Luka Doncic shot from the 3-pointer, and after that, every other goal was in the paint. Every other point was made in the paint. They're able to exploit that right there, which, as a Maverick fan, as a lot of Maverick fans are frustrated about this, why didn't we get this Kristaps Porzingis when he was here?
Well, like I said, that's a fluke game by Porzingis, and he had a couple of those when he was with us.
It was a fluke game. Offensively, yes, but defensively, he's been dominant the last 2 games. He wasn't as offensively dominant in game 2, but defensively in game 2, he was. The block shots were affecting everything. His length has been affecting everything. And I did not think we'd see this because he's never shown this in his career.
Well, he did in New York.
Rarely
before the trade.
Not defensively.
Yes, defensively, yes, he did. He was getting the blocks and the rebounds, and that's why he was the unicorn, because he had the offense and 3-point touch, and then he had the defense. Like, this is a rare player. Why he got the unicorn moniker. But yeah, in Dallas, he wasn't there, and I blame the system in all honesty. Dallas has never been known for defense.
No, they haven't.
Well, also, too, I mean, he was never healthy. That's the main thing.
Well,
he's never been healthy anywhere that he's played, but you look at most of these guys that are 7'3" and above. Look at Yao Ming.
Right.
He never played a full season. And still 2 years after he retired, he still got voted into the All-Star game.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Houston fans from China.
That wasn't Houston fans. That was the entire country of China.
Oh, I know. China. That's what I said. Houston fans from China.
Yao Ming fans. That's all it was. And then once he retired, they didn't get 2 shits about Houston.
Yeah, they didn't care when
they went to Jeremy Lin at that point.
Wang Zhuzhu.
It's former Maverick great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously tonight's a must-win game. I mean, there's no.
Yeah,
it absolutely is a must-win. If you don't win this game, it's over.
Yeah, like maybe you don't get swept, but yeah, it's pretty much over.
Hey, if they lose this game, though, you guys being back in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you should look for tickets because ticket prices are going to plummet for Friday's game. I bet you could get some reasonable tickets for those third.
If we didn't already have tickets to go see the Jackals. The Kings. We could.
Well, maybe. Well, if it somehow gets to Game 6, then the tickets will be through the roof again.
Oh, absolutely. Which they were really bad from what I heard here for Game 3. But I remember years ago. This was, I think, the year
500 stadium room only type of thing.
It was the year before Wyatt was born. Joel and I went to Maverick playoff game, and we were going against Houston. Harden was still there with Houston, and Houston beat us the first 3 games, and we went to Game 4, and was talking trash to Doughty about how we were at least weren't going to get swept, and we went to that game. And we were at that game, and actually that they didn't get swept. Joel and I were at that game, so that was. We were like, at least there's no broom, we got to go see the one win, but got trounced in Houston the next game, but at least we didn't get swept that year.
What was that? 2017 or something like that?
2018. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Son was born 2019, so yeah, 2018.
barely remember that series.
And just seeing this last play right here, this is what has been just aggravating me this whole game is getting completely dominated on the defensive and offensive boards. Rebounding has been terrible these past 3 games. And as
It is.
dominant as they were against Gobert and Cat, this is absurd that they cannot get any rebounds here against Boston. They're not boxing out. They're not putting butts on them, getting them out of the lane. They look like a different team when it comes to the rebounding from Minnesota to Boston. Don't get me wrong. I agree. Boston is a better team than Minnesota. They are. They hands down are.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm seeing no effort to rebound the ball, to try to get an offensive rebound when they were all over trying to get an offensive rebound against Minnesota. It just seems like a complete mental block that is complete. Like they completely forgot how to rebound on offensive and defensive side of the ball here in this series. It's just completely frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because really, right now, the only consistent rebounding threat that you have is Horford and I guess Tatum to an extent as well. But Tatum's not a big man.
Drew Holiday had what, 9, 10
11
rebounds, 11
Yeah.
rebounds in game 2.
Right.
That's
I know
absurd.
that's a problem.
You can't. It's been a huge problem. No one is boxing out. You've got to box out.
Yeah, how does Drew Holiday get 11 rebounds in that game?
Well, it's like some of the cut-in layups they had too.
No, it's because no one was boxing him out. No one was putting a butt on you. That's the thing. Getting out of place, getting out of position.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Austin has ran their offense, is running their offense, to perfection is what they're doing. They're getting the matchups that they needed. I mean, it's helped that, finally, Dallas is able to get some stuff down low and run their offense the way they want to without Porzingis down there just, running a fucking block party the whole damn game in Boston. That's all he did. It was the Porzingis SWAT team because he was just blocking and affecting shots left and right. And we just couldn't figure out how to do anything. We could not figure out how to get past it. Like everything we've done, Gobert and Towns is just, now Kristaps Porzingis is now the best defensive player we've ever seen. It's just, it's been game 1. They had that motivation, I could see that. Okay, it was a blowout. The Mavericks got blown out against the Clippers and the Thunder. I wasn't worried. I wasn't surprised about that. But just the way to come out and no matter what you did, you just seemed flat-footed. There was no answer you had in game 2. You just could not get anything going. It just seems like it almost seems like they've given up. They've gone completely from passing the ball around to all isolation up in Boston instead of running the offense and everything the way that you did before. And I understand, okay, you're getting better defensive pressure from better defensive players. But
no, I totally agree.
You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Right. All the offense has been is Luka bringing the ball up the court and then him creating a play or just like just him passing it off and someone else take a shot. There's been no movement. There's been really no theme to their offense whatsoever. I mean, granted, it hasn't helped that Kyrie hasn't hit the broadside of a barn this series, but still, I mean, there's just no rhythm to their offense whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, it's a completely different team. Very frustrating, being a Wolves fan. I mean, Dallas was a team that I thought could really challenge Boston and win the series. And maybe granted, things change and they're ahead right now in game 3. So, there's plenty of time left for the series for Dallas to come back. But, this is just a completely different team that in this series.
Stopped by Kyrie there. Pretty shot on that fadeaway.
Minnesota.
Yep.
Well, tonight Kyrie Irving has stepped in. Oh, that's the reason right. Patrick Mahomes
but you got to stop the white boy Hauser. I mean, that's the reason Boston's in this. Is Hauser's been making he's 6 for 6 or something stupid.
Boston's role players are outplaying Dallas's role players.
Well, yes, they are.
Hands down. And they're outplaying them so much that Tatum is able to do jack shit. And they're still
Except
winning.
tonight, but yes.
No, he's been mediocre at best this entire series.
Oh yeah, he's been an average player. Like he's had 13, I think, in the first half for the most part. This first half though, he's got 18.
18.
That's not
Yeah, I
Still.
mean, Tatum's been terrible.
Look at
This
the dang
series.
rebound.
Yes,
Goodness gracious.
see, that's what I'm talking about. They're out hustling, out offensive rebounding, and then that's what the thing is. You have good defense, you stop them for multiple shots, and then somehow Drew Holiday gets a fucking bullshit rebound and a nice easy layup. That is two, and you still give up 2 points. You cannot do that. You have to put a fucking ass on somebody and box them the fuck out. God, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
That just makes no
There's no
sense.
reason. You're looking at the rebound. He's right there. No one is even on him. Someone
Mm-hmm.
has to get on him. Luka's got to work on his rebound. He's got to work on boxing people out. You got to
Well,
look.
that's
You
yeah.
have to
That's
find
part
somebody.
of the
That's
defense. Luka
Yeah.
doesn't play defense. He's been a little more defensive in these playoffs
growing up,
lately.
that's what they tell you. When a shot goes up, find
Oh, I
someone
know.
and put a box him out.
Yes.
Don't let him get a
I agree
rebound.
with you. I agree with you 100%.
It's fundamentals. That little stuff pisses me off when it consistently happens the entire game.
Yeah.
Stop letting it happen. Look around. Find somebody. If you don't have, if you haven't boxed somebody out, then there's a reason. Then you need to be already too far away to be down in the lane to get a rebound.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why Boston should be out rebounding Dallas in this
No.
series. None.
We talked about this before. We were worried about being out rebounded against Minnesota because you had your team, Gobert and Towns, had their twin version of the Twin Towers that we wouldn't be able to match up against. We talked about that before the series started, about how their length was more than Lively and Gafford and everybody else the Mavericks had. And they dominated them on the boards. They went after them. And then they come here against Boston where we even said, hey, if Porzingis is there, that's the only person they have. They're getting out hustled by the entire fucking Boston teams. Get down there and get a fucking rebound.
And
Yeah.
there's no Porzingis tonight.
No.
No.
And they're still listing, Boston's still listing him as day to day. I know their coach came out and said, yeah, this is a serious injury. He's going to be out for a long time. And then Porzingis is like, no, I'm just day to day. There's so many conflicting reports. It sounds like the Texas Rangers front office giving out, injury reports.
Mhm.
But
And if that's an indication, then he's out for the series.
I'm not against it.
Oh no, I'll take it.
I'll take it as well too. I mean, you got to take a win where you can win it. You win the
Yeah,
games the way they are.
And also too, I mean, it's just like that's the price you pay when you have Kristaps on your team. It's like he's great when he's out there a lot, most of the time, but if he's injured, then I mean, again, that's what you signed up for.
That's the majority of the time is he's injured. That's just the way it's
Yes.
going to be.
Right. So I don't. There should be some, fucking asterisk if somehow Dallas comes back and wins without Chris.
No, there's no asterisk. There's no asterisk in other times when people have gotten injured and they've gone out.
Right.
Just the way that it is. That's you play the games that are in front of you. That's all you can do.
Right.
That's why we talked about how Celtics had such an easy path. So they get an asterisk for those series.
Well,
Because
no, they
Donovan
won't get an
Mitchell went
asterisk for
out,
it.
or
However, let's say Boston wins today and they go ahead and sweep Dallas. Let's just hypothetically, let's say that. How will this team be remembered going into, an all-time finals champions? Are they going to
they're
be?
going to be ranked
Are they
pretty low.
Are they going to be forgotten? Are they going to be, remembered as, they just have the easiest championship of all time?
Most likely,
What are your
yes.
opinions on that?
I think it'd be the easiest championship. Now, the one thing that they've got in their favor as far as memory goes is this will now give the Celtics the most championships in all the NBA team history. They'll have one
Mhm.
more than the Lakers if they can win this series. I think 17 total.
Yes, they have 17 total.
Well, if they win this series, they'll have 17.
Mhm.
Right now, they're tied with 16, I think, with the Lakers. Well,
To
they could be
me,
tied 17. Next 18 is going to be the new total.
this this team, it if they if they go ahead and finish off and beat the Mavericks and win the championship, to me, this is the Detroit Piston team that beat the Lakers. That's what they are.
I don't
Good
know.
team.
I'd
good
rank them even
team, but
lower
you
than
don't-
that.
I don't. Well, that's the thing is, I think it's a good team that just doesn't have any wow factor to it. They're a good, solid team, but there's no wow factor. There's no. It's not. They don't have a Luka. They don't have a Kawhi Leonard. Jason Tatum's supposed to be that guy, but he's not. He's not that guy. Jaylen Brown is the best player on their team.
Yeah, I just
Thank
don't think.
you.
I don't think they'll be completely forgotten. I mean, yes, their path is easy in the East, but still, I mean, they'll be remembered for going 64-18 in the regular season. And if they were to sweep Dallas, that'd be 16-2 in the playoffs. So, albeit they're probably not a historical team or anything like that, but I don't think they'll necessarily be forgotten or thought
They will.
lesser than.
They'll be thought lesser in 5 years. In 5 years, some other team's going to do something better, and they'll talk about how this team was just completely a snore, and there's no reason. Okay, yeah, they won, they did great, but yeah, they played against the easiest opponents, the easiest score of all time. That's what it'll be talked about.
Maybe. I just sometimes I don't know if history remembers the nitty gritty like we do at the time, but we'll see. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Boston had the easiest path to the finals I've ever seen in my life. That goes
Right.
without saying.
To have every team's best player get injured on the way there is just absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah.
How do you have every best player? I mean, even if Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, and Tyrese Halliburton hadn't been injured, I didn't see any of them beating the Celtics. Indiana was the only team that I thought had the chance because they actually played them well when Halliburton went out. Which kids should have called Carlisle and said, "Hey, how the hell do you defend against the Celtics?"
Yeah.
Because they seem to have it figured out.
Right.
Besides a few extra calls there at the end, they looked really, really, they looked good. I mean, I just didn't think they had that guy. Halliburton's not that guy. Halliburton's a great player, but he's not that guy. They need that guy to actually put them over the edge in Indiana.
Well, you don't think that's Siakam?
No, I don't. I think Siakam's a great player. I don't think he's the guy. He's not a Luka. He's not a Jimmy Butler.
Nobody's a Luka. Let's be honest.
No, I know, but he's not a Luka, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards guy.
You don't think Halliburton could be that guy?
No, I don't. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he's that guy. He's not a SGA. There's teams that you can look at and go, "There's the guy." That's a guy. Halliburton's not a guy.
Halliburton at times has looked like
he has at times, but that's the thing. It's not a consistency. Now, he could turn that around. Now, can my mind be changed on that? Absolutely. He could come out next year and be the guy and consistently look like that all the time and be in that conversation. But right now, no, he's not. He's a Robin is what he is. He's a very, very good player. I would love to have him on my team. I'm not faulting the guy. I think he's a great, great player. But am I putting him in my top 10? No, I'm not.
Would you say top 10 of the NBA right now, even?
No, I wouldn't. I would not put him in my top 10.
Hmm.
And I like him a lot. But no, I would not put him in my top 10.
51-50.
51 to 50. I'm not.
1 point lead going into halftime.
I don't know if I'm, wow, all right, hey, we got the lead.
Just when you think
Or
you're safe, they
we're only
close
leading
back
by
in.
one. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel too good either. Well, I mean, again, it's better than, being down 10 or 12, but I just
It's at least a lead, but yeah.
Well, the way I feel and the way that it's been going is we need to be. It doesn't matter how. Just keep it close. Just keep it close. Keep it close all the way till about the last 5 minutes.
I think you might be
And
asking too much there.
I have
gotta
been.
pull away.
I am. I want him to pull away, but I wanted to keep close and let Luka and Kyrie, who are to be the best closers in the NBA, close the game out. Luka's been has been doing his job, but Kyrie up to this point has not. He's played better tonight, but in the last 2 games
Yeah,
he has.
that's good because Luka looks a little off today.
Yeah, and Kyrie has been feeling the pressure. He finally raised his hand up high and said, "I messed up. I need to be better." He
We all
finally
knew
said
that though.
yeah. And
Well,
Kyrie's
yes,
4
but
out of
he
5
didn't
from
say it.
Yeah.
3 tonight.
Luka's not even
He
shooting
finally said it.
50% right now.
Because after game
Well-
2, Luka came out and said, "Hey, I turned the ball over too much. And I missed too many free throws. I have to be better."
Mm-hmm.
And Kyrie at first wasn't saying, "Oh yeah, it's my fault. I sucked. I need to be better." He wasn't saying that. He was saying, "Hey, we need to be better as a team." We did. No, he finally came out later and said, "Yeah, I need to be a lot better. I need to take care of this," and he is so far.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
just-
what you need 30. I mean, one positive is that Kyrie and I think Luka's been disappointing from beyond the arc, but he still has 17 points so far, and so combined 37. I'll take that. And then
At this
probably
point
it's going
right
to take
now,
a half.
the way
I was
the way
just
these
going
games
to say
have gone-
probably to take
ahead.
another 37.
that's what you need. You need that. And the way these games have been going, I just have me within 4 points with 5 minutes left.
Sure.
Have me within 4. I'll even take 6 with 5 minutes left. Just keep me close with that and let them work. The problem is I'd rather it be a blowout. I'd rather Dallas be blowing them out. I'd rather Dallas be up by 10, 15. But even that's not safe the way Boston shoots the 3. They're not. It's not. So just keep me close. That's all I'm asking. Keep me close and then let those two do what they've done the entire postseason. Luka's still doing it. He has been awful tonight, but he's been doing the last 2 games. Kyrie hasn't done the last 2 games. He needs to put his stamp on this game.
Just don't.
So I think he's done that so far, at least.
So
Like I
far,
said, Luka's not even shooting 50%. And I'd say, that's
well,
easy.
he
He's
also
shooting like
did get
40,
a
but-
shot in the chest to be able to make sure he was a pain
Oh,
shot
I
in the
know.
chest so he could play in this game. So I get
and a
him
bad
little
knee
bit.
and a bad ankle.
Oh,
He
good
is-
God. What the hell is Stephen A. Smith wearing? That is absurd. Get out of here with
It's
that
colorful
nonsense.
for sure,
Ugh,
but
fucking terrible.
no,
Terrible.
kind of one of the things they mentioned with condolences to the Jerry West family for passing away. I don't know. I think we mentioned Bill, but we haven't mentioned West yet, unfortunately. But he has passed away as well actually today, excuse
Today.
me, he passed away today.
Today it happened.
2 legends.
And actually,
The logo.
and actually Jerry West back in 1969 was the last Finals MVP. He was the first Finals MVP, but the last Finals MVP that came from the losing
Yeah,
team.
from the losing side.
And that's because all the voting for MVP was put in right before Game 7, which the Lakers were heavily favored to win Game 7, and Boston was able to pull the miracle upset to take the championship. But Jerry West was able to take the MVP. It's the last time a member of the losing team took MVP. 1969.
Yeah, and there's talk Luca may get the MVP as the best player, but I was like,
Hey,
they still got to give it to the winning
talk
team.
is
whoever it
there.
is.
There's only one way that will happen is if they're able to bring this to a Game 7 and lose it in the Game 7. That's the only way, and that's if Boston stays like where Tatum, because right now Tatum's leading in the Vegas, betting to be that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Vegas hedging their bet. That's what they're doing. But
I did
Tatum,
not know that Jerry
Brown,
West
and
was a
West are bad.
3-time NBA Hall of Famer.
Oh,
Jerry
yeah.
West got in as a player, a contributor in the 1960s Olympic team. I did not know the Olympic team
Yes.
got in,
Mhm.
but I know he got it in for a contributor / GM.
Name me a more someone who's done more for the game of basketball than Jerry West.
It's
Name one person.
impossible. It's
In
impossible.
all
Magic
aspects
or
of it.
Larry, but that's kind of
Well,
a duo
yeah.
whenever you look at
No,
them
but
together.
he did it as a player, coach, and executive.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
How
Mhm.
many teams as an executive did he put together? Championship teams did he put together? It was just absurd.
He brought Shaq and Kobe together.
He
The
brought
Great
Shaq
Lakers
Kobe
team.
together. At the very he then went to Memphis, turned them
Yeah,
into
he
a
was also
50-win team after
supposedly
1 year being with them.
started
Right.
pulling in Showtime. I don't think he completely built that team because he was still young at that time, but he had his handprints
Well,
on Showtime
he
Lakers
was
as well.
very, very
Yes, he
upset with
was.
the show Showtime,
Well, that's because
because
he
it
was
made
a
him
drunk.
it made him look like a complete freaking psychopath.
Which is so
Yeah.
stupid. That fucking pissed me off, man.
Way I
And
like
it
my
pissed him
Jerry
off
West. Yeah. He's way more mellow than that, it seems like, but I bet that motherfucker's got a mean streak too.
too. But they just completely made that
Do you
shit
guys-
up.
Do you guys remember
Well,
his
yeah.
last big move as an executive? His last big move.
I was with Memphis, right?
No, with the Clippers. He brought Kawhi and
Kawhi Leonard and Paul
Oh.
George together with the Clippers. The guy, if he's not the best NBA executive to ever be, he's in the top 3.
I don't know, tell
Yeah.
me who's better than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why-
I mean, you could
that's
say
why I
Jordan, but
said-
he's only got the player moniker. He doesn't have it as a coach or executive because
Exactly.
those
No,
Bobcats are
absolutely not.
terrible.
I mean, the
He
only
even
other
sold it
person.
now, I think.
I mean, you could maybe say Pat Riley, but Pat Riley wasn't as great as a player.
Right.
He was really good as an executive, top
Yeah.
executive. He was a great coach, but as a player, he wasn't one of the best players. I mean, Jerry West is
Yeah.
one of the top
He was
20
a
players
role
in
player.
the game.
Yes. There's a reason he's the logo.
And also, too,
Exactly.
think about it this way: when you look at Jerry West's stats, like his points per game, he did not play in the 3-point shot era.
Yes. Think about what he would have done if he would have been in the 3-point era.
he would have
been
dropped like
absurd.
45 points a game, at least.
They were
Wait.
talking about on the radio about in the stats, like in his era, field goal, percentage, and it was like center, power forward, Jerry West, center, power forward, center, random guard. It's like Jerry West shot for
Yeah.
like 50% from the field. Like,
Exactly.
absurd.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true.
I mean, I don't know how it's possible, but the logo is underrated. He is underrated. I just
Yeah,
people don't realize
agree with
how
that.
good he was.
Well, it's like people
The
saying
logo never needs to change.
LeBron can beat Michael Jordan now, or Seth Curry's team, 74-win team, could have beaten the Bulls' 72-win team, and
And those conversations are going to continue happening, especially as
Yeah.
it keeps going, like with Luca or with
It's like crazy
Wembanyama.
people saying Shaq couldn't play in today's league.
Oh, Shaq would do just like he did then. He'd be a freaking
I
elephant
know, but
running
it's
through
just
the
like
middle,
these people don't
demolishing people.
remember the past players and how good they were. Now, granted, I didn't know how good Magic or Bird was until I went and looked him up and just like shit when I
Mhm.
started getting into the NBA. But after a while, you learn ideally
Well,
about the history of the league and some of these great players, just some of
and
the
that's why, as everybody says,
ridiculousness.
oh, everybody nowadays is more athletic. Okay,
Yeah,
look at two of the best players in the league in Jokic and Doncic. These guys play slow, old school style, and they are dominating the league. These guys grew up watching the Dream Team come in and play over in Europe and
very
playing like
true.
these guys, and they are demolishing all of the Americans who are more athletic than them.
Yeah,
These fat
so
white
it's
dudes
that
are just
muscular
Europe
size. Yeah,
destroying them.
The two
yeah.
best players in the NBA are two fat Euro
Slovenian dudes. Yeah, two fat Slovenians. Nah.
Yeah, Serbian and Slovenian.
That's
Yes.
But think about it, if
um,
Yugoslavia would have stayed together,
Oh my God.
good Lord, the teams that
yeah. I would have been.
put out. Oh,
They would have
oh,
kicked the Americans.
We'd be talking about
ass.
them as the number 2 team instead of Spain in the world.
easily.
They'd be number one.
They would. I think they could
Yeah, they probably easily could.
be.
Yeah,
They could easily be number one. Like easily, it wouldn't like. It would be hard to argue that at all. Oh man, that would
it
be
would be
scary.
some great games to watch for sure. Serbs couldn't
All
get
right.
it together though.
I think we need to get a little refill here before the halftime ends. We'll keep rolling, but we'll be back here in just a few moments as we all kind of touch the glass up, get ready for the second half.
Second half. Refill.
We're starting the third.
Oh, by the way, I just found these today. They're gonna just show up. Oh, that's lame. So apparently, Cheetos has a Mexican street corn flavored. Why won't it show? Oh, this
It's your
stupid-
background. It won't
Yep.
show.
Oh my lord!
I'm telling you.
Yeah, Mexican street corn Cheetos. Holy shit!
Really?
That sounds like
Oh.
a.
Tito's
That's-
Mexican.
That is sinfully good.
Street
Still
corn
good.
Cheetos, you said?
Mexican street corn flavored. The elotes, you've had. I know you guys have had the Mexican street corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that flavored on a Cheeto. Wow,
Oh damn.
sinful. Well, I brought this in here now. I don't think it'll show up. Let's see if it will. Yep. Jerry West.
Ah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there he is. He's hanging out here
Yeah.
with us.
My dad randomly met him in Las Vegas once. He took a picture.
Nice.
of him, and he has it hung up in his room.
As he
Oh,
should.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Just sitting here
He's
right
out
next
there
to
for
me
the
is my
summer.
picture with Randy Rogers. That's when he came and played in Commerce, I think, right before you guys showed up.
Yeah, it was a few years before. No, maybe
Mhm.
not even a few years. Probably just a couple of years before me.
But yes, we have started the third. Surprise, surprise, Luca actually hit a free throw.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as we're moving here into the third, I do have one thing I wanted to bring up to you guys. Want your opinion on this? Completely non-basketball related, but
Yes.
with
What
July
you got?
4th coming up, Nathan's hot dog eating contest has outlawed the GOAT, Joey Chestnut, because
Yeah, he
Joe
went beyond
Chestnut
beef
has-
hot dogs or something.
Impossible Foods, the vegan hot dog, is who he is now signed a sponsorship with, and they have kicked out the GOAT. Your opinions, go.
Nathan's just stupid, but I understand why they did it at the same time.
They're ridiculous. They're getting rid of the Michael Jordan of hot dog eating contest. That'd be like getting rid of Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, but
At
now
the
at least you're
major
gonna eat
champions.
it just to be
But
like,
you almost
okay, who's
didn't.
actually gonna win this shit? We've known who's gonna win it in the past. We just didn't know by how many.
But it's greatness you're missing out on. Greatness.
And I'm going to play devil's
Nah.
advocate to you and say,
Sorry, this
you
is
know
competitive
what?
eating.
You
There's no
let-
such thing as greatness.
You let that vegan eating guy leave. He went and signed with your competitor, and you stand your ground, and you had the testicle fortitude to kick out the greatest competitive eater of all time. And they stood their ground because you
Well, they
can
did
just
the
sit
same
there
thing
and
with
have your
Kobayashi.
vegan-
Whenever
I
they
was about
kicked
to
him
say,
out
they've done
finally.
that. They've
So I
taken
mean,
out
this is
the
not the
two
first
guys.
time they've taken out like the
Yes,
head
but
guy.
Chestnut is better than Kobayashi in every way.
Well, he is now, yes. Once Kobayashi got kicked out, he kind of like laid off, and then Chestnut beat him when he came back. And then he just didn't care anymore. It's like
It's
whatever.
just that it doesn't mean if you win the Nathan's hot dog now, it's just that's an asterisk right there. That is an asterisk.
I don't
It's
know,
on
it's
Asher.
really-
It opens the field. The field is now finally open.
That's what I was saying.
We
Like
can
now,
see
who's
if
going to
the
win? Now you
Who's
actually have
gonna be
a
the next,
question
who's
of
the
who's
next
going to
Joey
win this.
Chestnut coming up? Who's going to be the next one coming up? I'm actually
Yeah.
interested in that. But see, I mean, I've been watching it just to see Joey Chestnut, but now it's like, okay, who's going to come out? At first, when I heard this, I was like, okay, he's not there. Why do I want to watch it? But then as I thought about it, I go, okay, who's going to be next? Who's the next Joey Chestnut? Who's going to be the one to maybe this is the step they need to start taking that over? And sorry, you go get the vegan hot dogs. Get out of here. No. Mm-mm. He can go over and eat his soy hot dogs all by himself then, because he's no longer that competition. And that's the only eating competition that I want. I don't care about any of the others. This is the only one worth watching. It's a July 4th staple. You got to watch.
It's because it's July 4th. That's the only reason it's even worth watching. Most people don't care about competitive eating at any level.
No. Mm-mm. And even then, my wife is still disgusted by it, but I have to watch it every single year. It's just like, this is the July 4th tradition. It's this than fireworks.
It's a must.
Eh,
It's a must.
I can take it or leave it. Have for years.
God, what? You're such a hater.
What's more American? What, do you not like America? Is that what it is?
Yes,
Caleb
that's
hates
what
America.
it is.
That's what it is.
Okay.
You hate America.
That's what it is.
Nah,
It's like Joey Chestnut who wants to eat his vegan hot dogs.
Yeah, me. You
That's
want
un-American.
hot dogs.
It is. No, you should. If I buy into a hot dog and it's vegetable, no, get out of here.
the question is, could you tell? It's impossible beef.
I guarantee you can tell the difference. It does not taste the same.
I'm gonna laugh if you actually did a blind taste test and couldn't fucking tell the difference. I would fucking laugh my ass off.
It would be, but I have to be paid to do it because I ain't doing that for free.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if. I mean, one thing though is that Major League Eating they did say, I forgot what the particulars were. They did try and work out a deal with him to participate, but he just wasn't going to do it. But I don't know. It's just disappointing. I need my Joey on July 4th, and now I'm not.
Well, not happening now.
Yeah.
Hey, it's changing the guard. Changing of the guard. That's what it is.
A little
Just
July
like
4th
Cody.
centered, but new question. What do y'all think about drone firework type shows where they make the drones go off and do all the shapes and things of that
Those
nature?
are real fireworks to me.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's a light show. That's all it is. It's a cool light show. It's got its space. It's very cool. Do I see it as a full replacement for 4th of July fireworks? Absolutely not.
I can agree with
Absolutely
that.
not. But I think it has its place. Can it be used in tandem with the
You
fireworks?
got your wiffle bombers
Absolutely.
and your foos and whatever else Joe Dirt asked the guy at the fireworks stand.
I mean,
But-
they're- I mean,
Butt
they-
whistlers. I think that's the one I can remember.
I mean, they're cool, but it's
Yeah.
just like they're not fireworks. They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, you can use them in tandem with fireworks. Put them out there where they're like, they can spell different things. Like they can spell USA while the fireworks are going off around them. Absolutely, there's cool ways to use it,
Got the
but
American
I don't see them
flag
as a
drawn.
complete replacement by any means. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
no, definitely not a full
use them as
replacement.
tandem. No, they'll never be a replacement, but as an addition to it, it only makes it better at that point.
Mhm.
I have a question. What the hell happened to the
I have
star?
an answer. What happened to the Stars? They got
Yes.
tired, and I think when they played the Oilers song at Game 2, I think they got in their heads, and it just messed them up.
Game 4 was the key. When they were up 2-0 and Sagan almost made a goal up in that game to make it 3-0. Then Edmonton scored 5 unanswered goals in that game, and then started off Game 5 going up 3-0 in Dallas.
Oh, that song
That
that
was-
pissed off
that was
Edmund
the
too
key.
and woke them up because they don't look like they're awake against the Panthers anymore. They look
No,
tired.
the Panthers are kicking their ass right now.
Yes.
Panthers will win the Stanley Cup. I haven't even paid attention to it, but Panthers will win the Stanley Cup.
Well, they've won
Uh,
2 games while scoring 4 goals apiece. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was 4-1 and 4-2 with the 2 scores.
No, 3-0 and 4-1, so combined
3-0 and 4-1, and that one goal was after the Panthers had gotten a 5-minute power play, and
Yes.
30 seconds to a minute into it, committed a penalty to where it went 4-on-4, and the Oilers were able to get a weak, soft goal in. Rafalski
Yeah.
has played amazing the first 2 games. He's playing the way that we thought Ottinger was going to play. But he didn't.
Yeah. And what I've come to realize is that Ottinger's a good goalie, but he's not an elite goalie, or at least not right now.
No. To me, he's an
Not
elite
for
goalie.
Bobrovsky.
I leave the Stars' loss all on Pete DeBoer.
Really?
He did not have his team prepared and ready to go and make changes that were needed. They continued to do the same thing over and over and over again with the same results against Edmonton. And he did not
Definition of
make,
insanity.
he didn't make the changes that are needed. And people can say in hockey, okay, what changes can you make as the coach? Well, then why is the coach being paid? The coach is there to be paid to, and everyone said how he's the best. He's won the most game 7s. That's great. But he did not make the changes that were needed against Edmonton. He looked completely outcoached, completely outperformed. Edmonton's coach, I can't remember his last name, but I know his first name's Chris, spelled just like mine. He had his team ready to play. They came out ready to beat Dallas. They came out going, hey, we're going to the Stanley Cup. You're going to have to stop us. And there's no reason that should have happened. There's no reason whatsoever that should have happened. But you know what? They came out there and they did it.
Yeah, Chris.
And he was DeBoer was completely outcoached.
And then I don't know if y'all saw this, but or at least this is played around here locally some, is that Tim Kalashaw and Pete DeBoer got into it after Game 5.
We've got to
When-
use the offhand, Hardaway. What a
Alshaw
stupid fucking.
Said
Hmm.
after told him in the Game 5 press conference that his team looked lifeless, and then Pete DeBoer got all butt sore about that. But they
I feel
did
they had
look
to defend his
lifeless.
guys.
Kalenshaw's an ass, but he was right.
I know he wasn't. I mean,
And he's
in
an
my
upper-
opinion, they're both doing their jobs. DeBoer has to defend his team. Kalashaw has to do his job as a writer. And they did
Kalashaw's an
fucking look
ass.
lifeless.
He was right, and he's enough of an ass that he's not scared to ask the question.
Right.
And they did. They looked lifeless. And Caleb, as you were saying, Hardaway didn't use his offhand because he's a terrible basketball player.
Apparently.
He doesn't know how to play.
We got to get rid of this.
We would be
Just-
better off having Tim Hardaway
Wow.
Sr. playing right now.
Well, luckily he's in the last year of his contract, so
That's
It's
why,
bad.
and that's why I hoped in the last year of his contract we could get rid of him for something.
like a
Because
salary
some
dump.
team, because some team would be wanting, the expiring contract. But even then, we couldn't get rid of him. No one wanted the expiring contract.
You know, another thing that's pissed me off about this series is the fucking ESPN coverage of this series. It just shows me
Dolores
how much
Burke
they.
is fucking trash.
Well, the announcing, but
Yeah.
also the studio show is fucking terrible too. They
Well, you have no one
evident
in
that
there
they
that
haven't watched the
actually played the
Mavericks all year
game.
long.
None of them have ever played the game. And if Shaq once again said, "Oh, Tim Hardaway needs to be in the game. He needs to be playing it," shut the fuck up. Tim
Well,
Hardaway is trash.
Well, as I was about to say, Wilbon going into Game 2 said, an
You
X
knew Brown
factor
was
of
going to
this
do
series-
that.
An X factor of
Come
this
on.
series is Tim Hardaway. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Have you watched this team this entire
They haven't
way?
watched the game. Wilbon has not
They
watched
haven't.
a
I
single
mean-
Maverick game until the finals. He's not watched
Yeah,
a single.
ESPN doesn't take time to actually watch games. They
No.
don't. Their announcers are shit now. They fired everybody who was any good because the contract's too big for them.
Because they wanted to freaking play small. They wanted to play fucking Moneyball and pay fucking not pay anybody.
Now
And
they
Dolores
got
Burke is
shit and
fucking
shit and shit.
trash. She's trash, and I'll get hated on. Call me a misogynist. I don't care. She's fucking trash. She's always been trash. She's never been good, and I don't know why she's doing the NBA Finals. It's because ESPN doesn't want to pay anybody. That's why. She's terrible. But it's just bad. The only person that's been somewhat decent is JJ Redick, and I'm not even a huge fan of his, but he's going to go coach apparently because your boy Hurley turned the Lakers down.
I was
Caleb,
gonna
how
laugh
believe
my
you hear
ass
about
off
that?
when
True.
he went to the Lakers.
Good
I was
job,
gonna
Hurley.
laugh my ass off.
That's
Did
great.
you think?
Yeah.
Did you think he was going to go? Did you?
No,
Did,
I didn't think he was going to go.
did your
But I was
butt
curious to see
pucker
what
at
the
all?
offer for $70 million.
Well, I think it
My butt
did.
puckered a little, but I
But
said,
still,
I think
that would have only made him the 6th highest paid coach.
that's the thing. It's like he's not the highest paid, and it's also, I mean, you look at coaches that have won championships, they get to stay with their team forever. Scott Drew's still in Baylor. I mean, Frank Calipari would still be with his team if it wasn't for some weirdness, but he's now with Arkansas. I mean, he would
The
have been with
weirdness of
Kentucky.
him not winning
Yeah,
and
the
dealing
Virginia
with
coach was still
Kentucky
there.
fans.
Yeah, I say dealing with Kentucky fans is it. But I mean, you can basically write your own check, and he's already in contracts with the highest paid, if not one of the highest paid college coaches with UConn.
He'll be the highest paid coach very
So I
soon.
mean, at the same time, like you go to the NBA, there's no like, yeah, you can't build the roster like you can in college. You're counting on your ability to be an offensive guy, which you are, and develop, which you can have proven to be. But you could easily be fired in the next 1 or 2 years with the Lakers. So why would you
It's
take
18
that?
months and he'd be fired with the Lakers because they're a fucking dumpster fire.
Yes,
And
I agree with
on
you.
top
I
of
would
that,
not touch
they
that
did-
dumpster fire with a
They
10-foot
offered
stick.
him less money than Monty Williams got in Detroit.
And
You
again,
can't do that.
everyone is saying, "Well,
It's
the
because it's
Lakers
LeBron's
offered-
team. They don't care.
Well, the Lakers offered him 11 million. How's that lowballing? Well, the Lakers have lowballed for a long time now, and
Everyone.
and again, if you really wanted Dan Hurley to be your head coach, you didn't do enough to get him because
Yeah.
you didn't make him a top 5 paid
And
coach.
Devin Heaven, I don't think deserved to be fired. Like he should still be coaching the Lakers right now. The Lakers should not be in this fucking mess. But
They're going to be in this mess because they're letting LeBron completely hijack their entire franchise. And they'll hire
Pretty
JJ
much.
Redick. He'll get fired in 18 months. They'll use their 17th overall pick to take Bronny.
no, they won't take Bronny. I bet.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
They might take him with the
I'm-
second, but not the 17th overall. They won't do it with the 17th overall.
I'm saying right now they will take him with the 17th overall to make sure that LeBron stays there. I'm saying it right now.
17?
Yes, they're gonna
That's
take
crazy,
him
but
and bring him in to do that. And Hurley basically, if Hurley could have taken control of the team and said, "Hey, build this team up where he could have been," because I would have loved to have seen him in the NBA because he's a fucking psychopath, is what
I
he
think
is.
you'll get there eventually.
No,
it's
he will.
just-
And you know what? I know
I
where
think it might be 5-10 years. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he'll be 5-10 years. I have a theory
Okay.
on what he's waiting for. He loves the Northeast. He
Mavericks
keeps
opening.
saying it. Him and his wife. We love the Northeast. They're waiting on Thibodeau to fuck up in New York.
Hmm.
That's
I
the
think-
job he wants. He wants the Knicks so he can stay in Connecticut where him and his wife love, because that's why he said he didn't go to Kentucky, because his wife wants to stay up there. They love the Northeast more than anywhere else in the entire world. That's where they love. He's waiting for Thibodeau to fuck up, and then when he gets called for the Knicks, he's going to take the Knicks job.
And he'd probably get GM duties on top of that as well, in addition.
Maybe.
But I want to see him in the NBA because he is a fucking psycho, man. He is. The way
Yeah,
he's
I mean, he
out there,
pushed his
like,
own player while he was on the court.
that shit's not gonna fly in the NBA. So I want to see how that fucking shit happens. If he's gonna be able to reel himself in, or if it's gonna be a complete dumpster fire. Either way, I'm all in to watch. I'm good to watch it. I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
fucking great, no matter what. But I really do think, as much like in the whole thing. Okay, you turn down the Lakers. Yes, they should have made him maybe not. I'd say third, fourth highest paid coach is what they should have offered. Right under Popovich is where they should have gone. They should have gone right under Popovich, who I think is the third highest paid coach. I believe, second or third. He's second or third. I can't remember which one, but they should have had him right under Popovich, is where they should have, and you could have been okay with that. But
Maybe.
they didn't. At that point, you could have gone, okay, that money is enough right there. But the fact that he did turn down the pro job, I know the Lakers are a dumpster fire, which makes me happy. But
Yeah.
it all comes down to that they want to live in the Northeast. They want to live in the Connecticut area. They love that area. That's where his wife wants to be. Happy wife, happy life. I get it. I understand. What other team is going to be open? It's not going to be the Celtics. Celtics not going to be looking for a coach anytime soon.
Well,
But
maybe, but yeah. You got
maybe
the Nets up
that
there
could
too. Don't
change.
forget about the Nets.
He's not going to take the Nets. The Nets are a freaking dumpster fire as well.
Well, yes,
That's
they
not
are.
gonna
So's New York. New York's a
Yes.
fucking dumpster fire as well.
It is. The Knicks right now are not a dumpster fire.
And he does not get to stay in Connecticut if he's going to be a coach in New York. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he can.
Absolutely, you do. Yeah, it's an easy drive. My wife's uncle drives for years. Drove from Connecticut to New York City. It's easy. It's very, very close. It doesn't
Or
seem
maybe
like
he does
it's
the Kobe route
but
and
it's
gets a
very, very
helicopter.
close.
No, Caleb, trust me. My dad worked with people in New York. It's very common for people to come from Connecticut that live in Connecticut work in New York. It's crazy,
Absolutely.
but it's true.
Drive it. They take the train in. They do all
Yes,
that for all
train.
that. That's all it is. But if you're the head coach, they'll have
Who's the
ways to get you.
Cancer patient.
gonna
back
be-
You
there.
think
it's
he would
gonna
have
be-
taken the job
It's gonna
if
be
it
the
was?
Knicks.
You think if the Lakers gave him 6 for 80, you think he would have done it?
No,
Maybe.
no.
I think if you had made him, there's no way you could have made him the second highest paid coach in the league without ever coaching the NBA, not having skins on the walls with that. That if you'd have made him the second highest paid coach, he would have came. But I don't think you could do that. You couldn't go over Popovich. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Fourth, maybe highest, but the sixth highest, where you're under Monty Williams at Detroit, who's done jack shit. Because Detroit's dumb and gave him that much money because they're dumb, because they're a terrible franchise. That's the only reason he's up there. But if you had to get he would have been better than Monty Williams. But you can't put him over Popovich. If you would have put him over that, he would have took the money, I think he would have. But
I
you
don't know
can't.
about that.
What the hell is going on? This is bullshit.
Yep. Welcome to the game again, gentlemen. It's not looking pretty.
Well,
No, there's a
again,
reason why we haven't been talking about it.
It's Kyrie and Luca and no one else.
Well, it's not even Kyrie at this
No
point.
one's even. Kyrie's not doing.
It's not
jack
even
shit.
Luca, really. Like, nobody's doing shit. Like, we've been stuck on like 67,
Dinking
65.
and
for like,
donking. Yeah, we're dinking. We've been in the 60s for the last 5-6 minutes because no one can make a shot. And once again, that was actually a missed three. They had been raining threes and getting fouls, and
mhm,
finally we hit three. What do you know?
right.
Don't talk shit. Don't talk shit. You're down 10 points. Don't talk shit. Just put your head down and get back to it.
Luca doesn't care.
It was PJ
What
Washington.
was
talking.
with Ant not shaking hands for the Mavericks, Jeff? At the end of that series, he just kind of walked off.
Off the backboard, motherfucker.
I don't think there's anything really to that.
What deal did the Boston Celtics make with the devil?
They're dancing on Jerry West's grave right now.
Like, seriously, what deal did they make with the devil? Because they can't miss a fucking shot right now.
I mean, that's just kind of how I felt like with the Wolves when Luka went off in that game in the first quarter in Game 5. It's just like there's no fucking defense for this. What can you do?
Yep. Jaylen Brown's woke up now.
Dude.
Oh goodness.
Jalen Brown's the best player on their team.
Yeah,
It's not a lie.
kid
Yeah,
said so.
Action Joel said Christ.
Has
Pretty
Has
much. Boston Kirk's
Boston-
gonna be happy, but everybody else is like, what the
Kirk has been very, very quiet this entire series.
fuck?
Yeah, he's probably because he's nervous because he has everything.
He doesn't want to jinx it. He doesn't want to jinx it. He hasn't said
Yeah.
he hasn't said anything. We talked a little trash before game one, but he has not said anything since. He's not said a word.
So who's going to be the Lakers coach now?
JJ Redick.
Supposedly the assistant, yeah, either JJ Redick or the Milwaukee assistant.
I don't think it's going to
Dago
happen.
or Bago.
Oh, Borrego is his name.
Speaking of ex-LA coaches, did you see that Darvin Ham is heading over to be an assistant
Milwaukee.
in Milwaukee?
Well, it
Okay,
sounds like
so
they're
when
ready
Doc
to lose an
Rivers gets-
assistant.
He's
Well,
going to
when
be a
Doc
doctor.
Rivers gets fired.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of Doc Rivers, I think I want to see this, but I haven't seen any of it yet.
Have you heard about this show called Clipped?
Yeah,
No.
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
It's a show.
It's
on-
about the yeah. It's well. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, so it's about it's a mini series. It's about the downfall of the Clippers and Donald Sterling. And Ed O'Neill is Donald Sterling. Lawrence
Yeah,
Fishburne is
that's
Doc
right.
Rivers.
Gotta love the casting.
And then some hot girl is V. Stiviano, who is
I'm his
Donald
crazy
Sterling's-
rabbit.
yeah.
The fuck? What did this bitch say? Ugh.
I need to see that.
Well, pull it up. I think it's Prime.
No, it's FX.
Oh,
And I guess Hulu if one were to have Hulu. But you know who I don't think it would happen, but I think an interesting candidate for the Lakers job would be Jay Wright.
yeah, but does he want to coach? Is the question.
I don't see him coming out of his cushy broadcasting
Yes,
job.
No, I don't think so either.
That's
but
the question.
I know he'd never coach college again, but he might. Maybe NBA, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
It'll probably just be JJ Redick, and they won't pay him that much money, and then he'll get fired in a year and a half or 2 years, and then we'll do the same song and dance all over again.
Yeah.
Oh man, fourth quarter.
Let's go. Let's get it come back.
Mhm.
And let's see how much the Rangers are losing by right now.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Lost 15-2 last
With
night.
the Dodgers, it's going to be
It was a beatdown by the Dodgers. You knew it was gonna
yeah.
happen.
They lost 7-1, I think, in the first game, or 7-2. So I
No, they
mean,
lost. No, they lost 15-2.
Well, today, yes. I'm talking
No.
about yesterday.
No, yesterday they lost 15-2. Today they're just started.
Well, whatever I saw was 7-1 or whatever against the Dodgers. So
Yeah, they were
whatever day it
upset.
was.
Yeah, the Dodgers were up 7-1 like after the fifth inning last night, and then they dropped like 7 in the sixth.
Well,
Yeah.
one of our relief pitchers, I don't remember his name, gave up 4 home runs in 1 inning. I
Yeah,
mean,
Grant Anderson did.
there it is.
Four
Anderson.
home runs in 2/3 of an inning.
Mm-hmm.
Show me you want to get demoted to AAA without telling me you want to be demoted to AAA.
Or DFA.
Yeah.
I wonder
So
what happened
the-
to Grant Anderson today. Hopefully he just got optioned or something. Yeah, he
Oh, Wyatt Langford had a good game for us though, pretty recently. So that's good news at least.
That's about time. I'm happy to start seeing that happen a little bit more regularly because we need that,
Yes,
especially
we
getting
do.
healthy.
We do.
And that's the only good thing about the Rangers. The only silver lining we have right now is as much as we sucked,
Right.
Seattle sucked just as much. We're still
Yes.
in it. Now,
6.5 back.
Now we're coming and we're about to get swept by the Dodgers because that's going to happen.
right.
But right after that, we go against the Mariners. So that's going to be a big series
That's a
there. If
critical series.
if we get swept by the Dodgers and the Mariners, because the
Season's
Mariners
over.
right now are playing the White Sox. The season's not over, but it's going to be extremely difficult at that point to catch back up.
Right.
Yeah. And then I just I guess the thing is we knew the pitching was going to be a problem, but I just do not.
But that's the thing. The
I
pitching has
cannot-
not been a problem. The
Well, I
pitching's
mean-
been good.
I mean, it's been fair enough, but the thing is that where the fuck is the lineup been? This should be
It's
the
the
best
bat.
lineup in baseball, and they've done jack shit.
It's the bats. Now,
That's
where
what
do
I'm
we
saying.
start? Where do we start going? Okay, was last year just a career year from each of our batters? Corey Seager's still look good when he's healthy this year, but was last year Adolis Garcia's career year?
Probably.
Was that everyone else in the lineup's career year? Josh Young, he was a rookie, so could be, but he's been injured, so he hasn't come back. We don't know yet. Evan Carter just got injured. I think his failings early in the year were because of his injury. So we'll see what it is when he comes back. Wyatt Langford's looked a lot better since he's come back from injury.
Yeah.
Simeon's looked a little bit better here recently.
Right.
Mm.
But that's
Yeah.
when do we start asking that question?
Pretty soon. Pretty soon. Yeah, I think Simeon's played pretty well. I mean, he could play better, obviously, but he hasn't been atrocious. Adolis is just not looked good at all. He's had a horrible year. I mean, his power has been there, but he's only hitting 214 right now.
Kind of wondering.
He's
if
already struck
Adolis-
out 71 times.
Well, I'm wondering if Adolis is dealing with an injury that's just
Good.
not being talked about.
It's possible.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about, especially at his
Good.
age.
God, they're up 21 now.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Mavs game. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, Adolis could be dealing with an injury we don't know about. Who knows? Maybe he re-aggravated that injury that he had at the end of last year.
Maybe.
But I don't know. And there's just not. There's not a lot of hope right now for this team. Unfortunately.
But the thing is, as I said, they're still in it.
Yeah,
You've got people coming back from injury. You still have that hope coming out, and they're still in it. It's not like they're sitting down there with the Angels at the bottom of the division. They're still
Yeah.
in this, unlike the Mavericks right now, which
Right.
look so hot. But they have not been attacking the paint like they were earlier in the first quarter. They've just completely gone out to jump shots on the outside.
and Jaylen Brown's been amazing the second half.
And Luka just it finally gets in the paint and then dinks it off the front of the rim. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
10
like,
and
what
a
the
half
hell?
minutes left here in the fourth. You're down 21 points. It looks like the Mavericks are going to get swept.
It's
Yeah.
really looking that way.
I don't really envision anything.
And they deserve to get swept with the way they're playing. They honestly do. Unless they can battle back and win this game here tonight, they deserve to get swept. They do.
With the exception of Game 5, at least the Wolves are competitive in their games. I mean,
Yes,
the
they were.
Mavs,
Right.
I mean, the Mavs were in Game 2 for most of it. Got their ass kicked in Game 1.
Well, the Mavericks have been 0-12 against the Celtics in their last 12 games.
Jesus Christ.
Mm.
I didn't know that.
I may be wrong.
Mm.
That may have just been Kyrie Irving's against the Celtics since he left.
Oh, yeah. I did hear that about Kyrie, but
Maybe
it could be
one of the
Dallas
two.
too.
Maybe.
God.
Well, Luke is able to get a layup there, bring it down a little bit, but still a 16-point game.
Yeah. When you've got like a 20-point lead now, like excuse me. This is the kind of lead that you need 2 quarters to come back
Mhm.
from. But
They're up 22-9,
is.
I believe, to start this game. Something like
Was. They were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very true.
I just don't. Yeah, just you can't
Right.
do that.
Nah, you really can't. It's like, what in the hell?
But also, too, I give Boston a lot of credit. They didn't, when things weren't going well, they didn't abandon their game plan. They still continued to jack up threes, even though they're missing all of them. And now they're going in.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Nothing from 3 now is going in for Dallas. I mean, Luke has only made 1 3 this game.
I think that's follow up there.
yep. Very nicely done.
Okay, maybe.
So they've got about 6 or 7 straight points here, but looks like a travel. So I mean, with the offense,
No. So as
that
of
should have been a foul, but whatever.
As of this point, Mavericks had a 3 there, so we're down 11.
Right.
But at this point,
Mhm.
if you were to pick an MVP of the finals, who would you pick?
Probably Brown, in all honesty, but Tatum would not be necessarily far behind, I think.
Yeah, let's see. I'd probably pick. I think I would go Jaylen Brown as well. What I will say about, I don't think he'll get it, but I mean, again, I think it's Jaylen Brown without question, but I think an unsung hero of this series has been Drew Holiday. He's really been. I mean, obviously with the huge game 2 that he had, and then
Shutting down of Kyrie Irving.
Right, and he's just made just real crucial key plays in the series. So I think he's really kind of a unsung hero in the series. But yeah, I mean, I think Jaylen Brown's your MVP for sure.
I disagree with both of you.
All right, who are you going with?
Brad Stevens.
Oh, well,
Brad
yes.
Stevens is my MVP of the finals.
Well, yes, obviously.
All right.
If there was, we're talking.
That is the MVP of the finals. And for those of you who don't know, Brad Stevens is the executive of basketball operations for the Celtics, former
Mhm.
head coach Butler.
Right.
Yeah.
First.
and the Celtics. I mean, who turned the Celtics?
Mhm.
I mean, they were nothing when he got there, and then he immediately turned them around. And I remember at the time when people hired Brad Stevens, just like, what's this guy from Butler gonna do with Boston? And then all of a sudden, they he turns that team around, and they've been real contenders ever since he's got there, whether it be as a coach or
I
an
remember when he
executive.
got hired, and I texted Boston Kirk and said, "Hey, you either got the best new coach or the worst."
Mhm.
I go,
Something.
he's going to last a year, or he's going to turn your franchise around. I go,
Right.
you got one of the
Right.
two. I don't know which one it's going to be, but you. I go, I'm really happy with the hire that you got. I'm pissed the Mavericks didn't have him, but he got hired the year after in 2012, the year after the Mavericks won the championship. And I go,
Right.
hey, I wish the Mavericks could get him, but we just won the championship, so I don't want to let go of Carlisle.
Mm. Right.
But yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
I don't remember that conversation.
but the thing is yeah, I mean, what Brad Stevens has done is amazing. And I mean, I want to talk about a guy that could get in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I think it's him for what he did at Butler, what he did as a coach for Boston, and as an executive. We were talking about Jerry West earlier. Brad Stevens won Executive of the Year this year,
As
and
he
Yeah.
will.
rightfully so.
Very true.
And when he stepped back into that executive role, I really questioned that.
Oh, I thought, what the hell are they doing? I don't know what the hell
Yeah.
this was.
I thought what the hell they're doing, but I go, okay, he's a great coach. Why are you going to mess that situation up and test him in an area that he doesn't have experience in when you could go get you're the Boston Celtics. You have a great coach in Brad Stevens. You can go get a top tier executive to come in and run that.
Very true.
So I questioned that at first, but he's proven that he's a great executive. He's able to put those parts together and he's able to find the right coach
Mhm.
after your first right coach had to go whip his Peter out in front of all the women in in the
Yeah.
organization. We're able to turn that around and bring another coach in who is plain white bread. He is
Yeah.
staunch Christian, so I can't argue with him on that. But
True.
did you guys see when he was asked about how this has been the first time since I think in the 70s that two black head coaches were there, and he goes, "Yeah, but were they both Christians?"
Oh, no, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
hear that.
Well, back in the 20, also back in they've it's been recirculating now, but back in I think 2020, 2021, when the royal family was in town, Prince Harry, former Prince Harry, because he's renounced everything, and Meghan Markle were there. They asked him, "Hey, did you get to see the royal? Were you excited about seeing the royal family coming to the games?" And he goes, "What royal family are you talking about? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?" He goes, "I don't recognize any other royal family. I only
Don't
recognize."
call it a comeback, gentlemen, but geez.
See, you just jinxed it right now.
I don't
That's why I've
care.
been ignoring it. I've been watching it and ignoring it and just letting it roll.
Well, you could suck off
Let
about
it
the royal
happen.
family.
We're talking about Joe Missoula right
Yeah, we're talking about Joe Mazzulla.
If
Who
I could jinx
I
it from
like,
here, I've got some special power that I don't even
I
fucking
like
know
Joe
about.
Mazzulla. He's a good man, good Christian
Yeah.
man. Can I argue with
now.
that?
And I remember when Joe Missoula was at West Virginia, and he was a little
West by
troublemaker.
God, Virginia.
he was a
Mhm.
little troublemaker back in the day at West Virginia. But Bob Huggins, of all people, who's had serious issues himself,
Oh,
obviously.
Booze and Bob Huggins.
Mhm.
Yeah, who got Joe Mazzulla on the right track. He's been a model citizen ever since, because I remember, I think this is one of these sophomore junior year where Missoula got in a bar fight in Morgantown back in the day, and
There's very
he
few
starts
bars in Morgan to a fight to. So
right,
Oh.
exactly. So, but then ever since then, he was named captain, took West Virginia to the Final Four that year. He's been a model citizen ever since, and to see him being a head coach at the NBA level, much less about to take a team, well, maybe take a team to an NBA championship like the Celtics. I mean, that's one of the most unbelievable 15-year changes you'll ever see. So good for him. I've known Joe Mazzulla as a player since I was a freshman in college, so great to see him do well.
yeah, I just wish he did well next year, not this year.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
But God, 9390.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you for looking in the future.
you're welcome.
You're welcome. They finally made free throws.
Kyrie,
Look how-
learn to-
Look how
remember
it's
to-
changed when you make your free throws.
when you make your free
Uh,
throws, you win games. You make free throws.
Yeah.
Make free throws to box people out.
Fundamentals.
Mhm.
That's what it is. It's fundamentals. Oh, and a steal. Here we go.
Oh my God.
The fuck was that?
Damn it.
Should be a foul on the
Oh!
Celtics.
Oh, whoa!
Nothing?
Nothing. Rebound.
Luca's like, why are you calling timeout? We're in the middle of a run. But I still can't believe that's not a foul on Brown when he knocked over
Oh,
Luca.
that should have been a foul. I mean, I understand you're going for the ball, letting them play. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But that was egregious.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
We have a game ish.
Well, while we're at the break, I gotta ask: did either of you watch the Preakness this Saturday? They're at they're at Saratoga.
Oh, you
Did
mean the
not
Belmont?
actually.
Yes, I did.
Belmont, yes. Sorry, my bad. The Belmont at Saratoga.
I did, and I was so pissed because our family did like a drawing of the horses, and we each put $10 in, and I had Mind Frame, and that bastard almost fucking won. And I would have made money, but I lost. So
At least you
we
only lost
turned
10
the
bucks.
race, and for the first time, because we've been encouraging him, both my boys chose a horse. They each chose their horse, but they also picked a horse for each of me and my wife. And guess who got the winner?
Maggie.
Chris Porter got the winner.
Yeah.
Dorian Nance.
Well,
And
tell
out
me
of
you didn't pick it.
I actually didn't pick him. Declan picked him for me.
There you go.
Declan
Dorian.
picked my winning horse. My youngest picked my winning horse.
Who did win, by the way, for those of us who did not watch this game?
I could tell you right now, but I'm watching the game, unfortunately. I will tell you shortly.
Wait, tell
Fair
who
enough.
what?
Who won
The winner
Preakness?
of the Belmont. Belmont.
No, Dornick.
Or Belmont, whoever it is this week.
Dornick won.
Dornick, yes.
Hmm.
Dornick won, and
Mind
wow, it
Frame
was
got second. Very
such a
close.
good race. I actually got first and second in that race in my picks.
Right.
You know who? You know, Sierra
I won
Leone
and
actually
placed.
There
really
you go.
disappointing.
To me, and I actually said this after that race, Sierra Leone was the most overrated horse I've seen in so damn long.
Yeah.
I have not seen a horse ranked as one of the top horses in every single race to finish near the bottom every single damn time. That horse vastly underperformed and was
Yes.
like, as the trainer and as the owner,
God, this announcement
you've got to
bitch
be
is
ashamed
stupid.
of the way that it happened.
Mhm. Yeah, Sierra Leone, that was horrible triple crown.
I mean,
stuff.
Brown's throwing him to the fucking ground.
Oh yeah, completely. No,
And yeah, even this announcer's like, "Oh, this is obviously a foul on Luca." I was like, excuse me."
no, that wasn't a foul on Luka. That was a foul on Brown.
Yeah.
But in the three races, I won the Kentucky Derby. I won the Belmont. But I did not get the Triple Crown this year. The
I was
Preakness
about
went
to
to my
say,
father. Preakness went to my father-in-law, Ed Grant. He got the Preakness.
you got closer than the actual horse that
I
won the
got
first
close.
race. So.
I did. I got close. I had a good run this year, but
Let's go
I
with
only picked my Kentucky Derby winner. My son picked my my Belmont Stakes winner, which, as everyone still goes, hey, if it would have been run for a Triple Crown, this would have been an asterisk because it was at Saratoga and it wasn't at the original Belmont. But
Mm,
to me, okay, you can say that's an asterisk because it is, a mile and a quarter, so a mile and a half. It normally has, but at the same time, it shouldn't be an asterisk because it's not like it was done out of something weird happening. This was necessity. They needed to update the course.
Right.
The course needed to be updated. There should not be an asterisk. So next year, because it should be one more year until the Belmont is up to date and ready to go. Next year, if we get a Triple Crown winner, to me, there should not be an asterisk next to that horse's name. You can't
Yeah,
help it. You run the races that are set there, and if you're updating the course, you can't fault the horses that are running in that year's race because of that.
yeah, and also too, it's not like Saratoga is a shit track either. I mean, it's
No, it's a
one of the most
legendary
historical
course in its
tracks.
own.
oh my gosh, I think Luca just fouled out. Luca has fouled out with 4 minutes now.
Wow. Wow.
This is where that foul of being hooked by Jalen Brown they called him on.
Yes, that's absurd. This is it's Tony Brothers
Right.
officiating.
Now I was
still?
looking for him earlier, but
That was absurd. That shouldn't have been a foul, and the other one shouldn't have been a foul. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd.
Man.
Oh, that is terrible.
mm-hmm.
That is terrible. That is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, if the foul is egregious, if he's hacking and you can absolutely see it, okay, I understand it. I get it. Terrible. That right there, you're going to call a foul on that to foul the best player in the entire series out of the game? No, that's absurd. That is terrible
Well, I said
officiating.
there's been 2 or 3
Terrible.
where you're just like, how can you call that a foul on Luca? Or how can you call this a foul at all? Then how come Luca doesn't get the same treatment on the other end?
No, he doesn't get the same treatment on the other end. And that one there on Brown, that shouldn't have been called on him. That should okay, if you're gonna just let that go. Don't call on either one. But you're gonna call that on him? That's absurd. That is absolutely absurd.
That's tough. But I will say our referees.
I mean, he gets a couple fouls, but he hardly ever fouls out of any game.
I don't remember the last time he fouled out of a game.
Exactly.
No Tony Brothers or Scott Foster on that.
I mean, he's not moving. One thing is he hops up in the air. It's the only stupid thing by Luca. I think, unless he's getting hit right there.
That should not be a foul. That if he gets fouled out of this game, then it's completely rigged. They want the Celtics to win. That's absurd. There's
Yeah,
no
I
reason.
mean, just
that
because
should
a
be foul.
foot turns or something, that's stupid. Like, how can the
No.
announcer even be saying that? I'm sorry. It's not.
Well,
a
how's
foot
that a foul on
turns.
Luka when he's standing there and Jaylen Brown comes in and shoves the arm out?
Well, this is the problem with Jaylen Brown. He's been doing this shit the entire series
has
and entire
done it.
playoffs,
I
and the
agree, he
referees are
has.
just like, I don't fucking know. It's a foul on the other guy.
Yes, every single
They've
time
done
he
it-
comes in and shoves that arm out. Every single
Yes.
time, and the foul gets called on the other person. No, that is absurd. If he gets fouled out for that, that is absurd.
Ugh. Some of this too is the fact that I think Kidd should have challenged the one before this, so you're not even in this position,
True.
because that's obviously a hook, and he's being thrown to the ground by Brown.
Yes.
Obviously.
Well, Jason Kidd this series has not been necessarily good on his challenges. I remember in those.
Yeah,
that
now
Wolves
he's
series.
officially fouled out. They've upheld the call. And now you lose a timeout, I think, too, at near the end of this game.
And he's fouled out.
Oh yeah,
think my-
that's it.
I think
that was
my
the whole
number one-
question. That's why they
That is
challenged this
absurd.
play.
That is
It's because he was going
absolutely
to foul out.
absurd.
They had to challenge it.
They had to challenge it then, but that still is not a foul. He did not foul him. He got shoved. That is not a foul. This is terrible. That is one of the worst calls.
Like I
have
said, the
ever
whole refs this
seen in the
entire
NBA.
series. Like I said, the wall they ran
terrible.
into the first game when they're making their comeback in the third quarter, the refs just took over that game and gave it to the Celtics. So
That is absurd. That is one of the worst calls I have ever fucking seen. And that's even saying that right after he, Brown hooked him. That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. If this doesn't motivate the rest of the Mavericks to win this game, they deserve to get swept.
maybe. It just makes it increasingly harder when you don't have your best
No, it makes
player,
it
obviously.
extremely harder. But this is where Kyrie needs to now step up. He needs to take over.
Well,
He
he
hit a
stepped
shot
up the
there.
entire game. Let's be
Well,
honest.
he needs to
with that
step
for
up
Kyrie.
more. He needs to step up more. He has to take over.
What the hell
He
does
has
that
to be
even
the guy.
mean? I'm sorry. He's got to step up more.
He does.
Yeah, well,
He has to take over the
because
game.
Luke is gone now.
You don't have Luka to take over the game. You have to take it over. You have to be the guy to win this
Oh,
game.
can we not get a rebound? Oh,
No, we can't.
and then you're
we
going to
can't
call a
possibly
fucking
not.
offensive foul on that shit. Even Luca's like, you're kidding me.
The fix is in.
Yep.
The fix is in.
Problem is he's moving his back foot too. Dumbass.
One
It
foot,
doesn't
you're
matter,
moving.
shoulder. You're
That
supposed
is
to lean in the
absurd.
fucking screen.
That is absurd. No,
Oh.
this is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is
Tough
complete
breaks
bullshit.
my ass.
No, not tough breaks. This is the fix is
Well,
in.
no, the announcers are like, "Oh, the refs, tough break."
I know.
That's another problem I
think
have with
you
these
see
new
what-
ESPN people is they don't have the guts to go against the refs like the TNT
No.
guys do,
So get fired.
and they don't have the guts
TNT
to go against the players or the coaches either. Or
And
the players,
TNT
excuse me. They'll go
and
against the
TNT
coaches, but they don't care about
Well,
the players.
God bless.
TNT
They want
has
to be
nothing to
everybody's
worry about.
friend.
TNT knows that they're done next year, so they have no fucks left to give.
Right.
They can say whatever they want to. It doesn't matter now. This is bullshit. This is absurd. Okay, game 1 was a complete beatdown. I wasn't upset about that. Game 2, to me, the Mavericks lost it on their own
I
will.
could agree with
This
that.
game-
I mean, it doesn't
yeah,
help with
yeah.
brothers calling ghost fouls either, but
Exactly. With brothers calling ghost fouls, I still thought the Mavericks fucked themselves and lost that game. This right here at
agree
the
with
end of
that.
this game, the Mavericks brought it back in, and they have been completely screwed here at the end of this game. Completely screwed. Wasn't hard. No, this wasn't, rough breaks. This is complete bullshit.
right.
Call
I
me
can
a
agree with
homer.
that.
All you want to. Call me a homer
I'll
This
agree
is-
with
this-
you on it.
for the way this is
Because
done.
these refs are just ugh.
No, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. This is the worst officiating I've ever seen in an NBA Finals game. I mean, there's still a chance. Kyrie hits this shot. They're down 4, 2.5 minutes left. You got 2.5 minutes left. You got time. But sorry, I'm gonna be quiet watching this, trying to. Oh bullshit! How you gonna let that fucking happen down the middle of the damn lane?
Thank you. Finally, somebody knows. Go fucking hard to the basket.
There you go, Lively.
Come on,
Crowd's
man.
trying to get him
Defense.
into it. This is the loudest I've heard this
Defense.
crowd.
Yeah. Thank goodness they're finally getting loud. There we go. All right. Got a chance. Let's go. Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Like, and the thing is, you got to win this in regular season too, or regular time. Excuse
No,
me.
this could not go to
Because if
overtime.
this goes to
Cannot go
overtime, I don't think that's going to be good.
You cannot go to overtime in this game. This needs to be done regulation. Defense.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right.
That's why he's your best player.
Mm-hmm. They need to force that out of his hands. They have to force that out of his hands.
Come on.
Dude, no. No.
Foul. Foul. Oh, they're going to call a foul on this?
Well, no, it sounds like
They
they're
didn't
giving
call
it
a foul?
to the. No, I think they
Okay.
changed it.
They did change. They were looked like they were calling a foul on that, and it shouldn't
I
have been
think
a
they're
foul.
saying Horford lost it.
Horford
Yeah,
did lose.
He
it.
lost
Yeah.
it before, yeah.
It looks like
He
they were
really
calling
got
a foul
pushed,
first.
but well, I mean that's what. Yeah, it sounded like.
Get down the fucking court. Quit jerking around, Kai. You got to get 2 goals. It's a 2 possession game.
Well.
Oh, Jesus.
To me, that was a terrible shot. Kyrie Irving shouldn't have forced that one there. He should have worked it. I know you're trying to work down. You're trying to hurry up and not force the time, but that was a heavily contested shot. You could have had a better shot.
Yeah, I
Try
mean,
to
he needs a
penetrate
3,
it
but he
up.
needed it before this point. Because if you take
Yes.
the 2, you have to foul at that point because
True.
they've got a 2-point lead and they could just hold the ball until the end of the shot clock.
But by forcing a completely contested 3 right off the dribble, where you don't have a very good look at it, you're just falling away. That was a terrible, terrible look at a 3. No.
Well, it was. Like I said, he should have taken that shot much sooner than he did. Then it became a desperation 3.
That shot is something you take with 13 seconds left, and you're down by 4. Not where you're at now.
No.
No, yeah, exactly.
No. I disagree with you, but neither here nor there. Because the
Disagree.
free throw game,
I don't care what you have to say.
you can't trust the Mavs to win the free throw game.
I don't like to sit here and blame games on referees, but this game was completely taken away by the officiating, and
Well,
the foul Dirk kept the way to foul Luke out the way they did, I said foul Dirk. I realized I said that first.
No,
But to
but
foul Luke out the way they did with the last 2 fouls, completely absurd. That completely took the Mavericks out of the game.
I mean, I think that's bullshit too, how he got taken out of the game. But at the same time, you can't start out the game up 22-9 and then go down 91-7.
Yes, you
I don't
can.
care.
Because there's
I don't care
no
how horrible the
no
results are.
lead is safe in the NBA nowadays.
Well, I'll give you
Especially
that.
when Boston just rains 3 downs like they do. They're gonna shoot threes all
Yep.
day long. That's what they do. Half their team,
Mhm.
that's all they do is shoot threes and they make them, and that's what they do. And they did it again.
Yeah, I mean, 17 threes versus 9 for Dallas. I mean, that's essentially the
Dallas is gonna get swept.
difference of the game.
They're gonna get
Yes, they-
swept. And the sad
But hey,
thing about it is
They had a
that
hell of a year. Hell of a year.
oh, they had a hell of a year. But the sad thing is okay, like I said, game 1, you got taken behind the woodshed. You got whipped. I accept that. That happens. Game 2, you fucked shit up. You did. You messed it up. That was your own fault that you messed it. Game 3, they should have won this game. And they got screwed here at the end by having Dirt not in there.
You mean
This,
Luca?
this is well, yeah, I said Dirk again because I'm wearing his jersey and I'm just channeling him right now.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be like taking on Dirk from that 2011 or 2013, excuse me,
No,
finals,
it's completely been
or even the
this
2011 finals. But
this is an embarrassment. An embarrassment.
mm-hmm.
It is an absolute embarrassment.
And so many ticky tack calls too.
Just
At least
bullshit,
against Dallas.
bullshit calls. There's the one.
It's like Boston still getting Boston calls in Dallas. What the fuck's up with
It
that?
is. That's what it is. The foul out call on Luka was bullshit. The one
This is his
fifth
first foul out in his playoff career, according to that
It is.
stat.
The first
That's
foul
crazy.
against Jalen Brown, that 5th foul against Jalen Brown, yeah, it should have been on Brown, but honestly, that should have been a no call. There shouldn't have been a call because they both were fouling. If you really want to get technical about it, they were both fouling
Yeah.
each other.
I can
So,
agree with that. I mean, I would
You
have been
can't
fine with a no
a
call
foul on
too.
one, not call a foul on the other. That was bullshit. So there's 2 bullshit calls right there that he should still be in the game, which is going to be a completely different game with him in it. This is bullshit. Complete
Mhm.
bullshit.
Yep. Say Kid has been just ineffective this entire series too.
Kid has been outcoached. He's been outperformed. He's been outcoached. He's been outmanaged in every
Which
part
did
of it.
worry me going into this series.
Well, I mean,
So-
it worried me. I mean, if you're a Mavs fan, you should have been worried about going to the Wolves series. But somehow, some way, maybe if Finch was on the sidelines officially, if he didn't get his knee blown off.
I don't
But
think
then
that
That
again-
was so weird, but yeah. I don't know.
I'm turning this off on my phone. I'm done watching this. I don't want to hear talk about how you won when you got the officiating to help you out there at the end.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. Let's go to Band of Brothers. How about that? A Merc. But either way,
Well, anyways, how do you feel about America winning the cricket championship?
They
well, I don't
won
think it was a
that.
cricket
It
championship.
wasn't.
They
It
beat
was
Pakistan.
England
It
or
was
India.
It was a single game. Yeah, they beat Pakistan. They beat one of the major powerhouses of cricket, but it was just a game. I don't think it was for a championship or anything. But it
still,
was good.
that's
I mean,
amazing.
most of our players are from there still because cricket's that.
True.
But it's great. I mean,
Exactly,
it
but
continues the American tradition of taking other countries' sports, adapting them to us, and then kicking their butt out.
Exactly. We will adapt to it. Oh, you're good at
Yeah.
this. Oh, let us adapt to it, and we will beat you at it.
Yeah. Oh, we just got to get soccer somewhere near that for the World Cup coming up.
Somehow
That
we
won't
got-
happen until American football comes extinct.
When that,
You mean
when that
once it becomes
happens,
flag football and they no longer allow tackling? Is that when it'll happen? You think?
Guess
yes.
what? They're working their way to that point. They're trying to get there.
I think so too.
They're honestly trying to get there.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's like, oh goodness, football.
Speaking
Well-
of America, who's
Hmm?
going to win the U.S. Open? Is it just Scotty Scheffler until he doesn't?
It doesn't
Win
I
it.
will. I will always bet on Scotty Scheffler. Always.
Might as
Did
well.
you
You can
watch
do no
the
wrong at the
Memorial
moment.
this weekend?
I watched a little bit of it. Very
Little
little.
bit of- Yeah.
Very little.
Very little, he says.
I
Yeah.
will. That wasn't because I didn't want to. It's just because I had
Oh, I
other
know.
options
Mhm.
going on.
Yeah, no, you're good. Like I said,
Yeah, I didn't have time to actually watch it, but I was there. I kept up with it and just see the the highlights and check on it see what's going on. But I didn't get to watch
so you
a lot.
can't go wrong with that. And Dallas and USA actually men's soccer actually tied Brazil in their friendly today, surprisingly. Going 1-1 after getting routed by Colombia 5-0, I think. Ugh. So that's a nice change of pace. And then the European Championships, Jeff, start this Friday.
Yes.
Soccer.
Yes, Mr. Porter, you should be very excited about this. This is big. This is big for soccer.
Well, actually, talking about in soccer, my wife and I found a new show to watch.
Ted
It's
Lasso.
on Apple. It's on Apple TV.
Oh,
On
yeah.
Apple TV. No, we're big fans of Ted Lasso. We watch Ted Lasso, which I have my feelings that they should continue Ted Lasso without Jason Sudeikis and call it Roy Kent and just keep
But
it
I
with
think
the
there was
name of
talk
the show,
about it. I really
name
think
of
there was talk
manager,
about
and
it.
then they just keep running with it with like that, and then he could come in, as a supporting actor and come show it. So but
Maybe.
there's a show that we found on there. My wife found on there randomly, and we've really got into it. It's called
what is it?
it's called Trying. It's about a
Trying.
British
That
couple,
sounds familiar.
that's trying. They can't have kids, so they're trying to adopt,
Hmm.
and they finally adopt
Okay.
some kids. And the guy is a Tottenham Hotspurs fan.
Oh,
He's a fan or a player?
He's a fan.
You kind of
fan.
broke up there. Fan.
He's a
Okay.
big fan of Tottenham.
Hmm.
And turns out that the kid that they adopt is an Arsenal fan.
oh my God.
And so he's
Oh,
having
Gall,
to
house
cheer for
divided.
Arsenal and go to the Arsenal bar to support Arsenal when he's a Tottenham fan, has the Tottenham Spurs jersey underneath the Arsenal jersey for that.
Yep.
So I was really enjoying that here the last couple of nights watching that show and seeing that happen. It gave me a good little chuckle there.
As
He
it
kept
should.
saying he was a Tottenham fan, and I kept going, can't root for them. I don't like this guy anymore. I'm an Arsenal fan. You can't root for Tottenham. Can't do that.
Right.
But yeah, made him. He's a good dad. I love my adopted son. He's an Arsenal fan. I'll support him
Right.
as much as I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Very
Yeah,
true. Very
hopefully-
true.
But
Yeah.
a very hilarious show. Very good show. Yeah, definitely recommend it to anyone looking for something for an easy watching show. Try it on Apple TV. You will really enjoy it. Definitely
Right.
will. Easy
Trying to
watch.
see What I'm sure there'll be plenty of Arsenal players in the year that you could see in the Euros for sure.
If Saka's not on there, they're dumb. They're dumb. He's the best
Who?
player on the team. Saka.
Oh, Bukayo Saka.
Yes.
Mm.
That's why it's favorite player on the team. That and Declan Rice, because he likes Declan Rice
Right.
because he has the same name as his younger brother. So
Mm.
Let's see. I'm trying to
Fair
think. I bet you Declan Rice is on there. Yeah,
he
Declan
better
Rice
be.
is on
He's
there.
He's too good to not be on there.
Yeah, I think Saka's on there too. I think Saka and Rice will both be on England's team going into the Euros. So that'll be something to watch.
If they weren't on the team, that's just dumb. That's really, really dumb because they're both two of the best players. I mean, Declan Rice they brought over from West Ham, and
Right.
he had a great
Mhm.
career over there before he came over. He really stabilized the center of Arsenal's line, and Saka there on the left was just a scoring nightmare for anyone they played.
Yeah. So I mean, so you need to watch the Euros, man. It is a lot of fun. I mean, that's just as like to me, it's second to the World Cup. I love watching the Euros.
Well, especially if they come on the weekends during the early hours where my sons are now waking up.
Oh yeah, they'll be like on Fox in the late morning, early afternoon. So
Well, early mornings is that as much as I love it, I wake up to leave. I wake up at 5:45 in the morning,
even on the weekend.
Eastern time. My
So
oldest son
mid-morning.
Wyatt has to wake up and say goodbye to me every day,
Yes.
which is such a pleasure for my wife who's still sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So
Does she always work or does she go to the office mostly, or she work from home mostly?
she only has to go to the office like once a week. So she
Oh.
normally works from home where the boys go into school at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Mm.
So when they're up at 6:30 Eastern, that's a long time before they need to go into school.
Yes.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
And they are also on the weekend waking up at 6:30 a.m., which is most parents of young children like Joel, for instance, who's been on the podcast before, his kids would get up at 5 a.m. no matter what.
Yeah.
Until about the last month, my kids were pretty good about sleeping till 7 or 8.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden, it's 6
Uh-uh.
in the morning. We're waking up.
Oh god.
I don't know,
You
man.
could try to do what my sister did, where like if the sun's not up, don't come in our room.
We've done that, and Wyatt has an alarm clock. It's
Mhm.
the shape of a cloud, and it's a nightlight, so it's white.
Right.
It turns green when he's allowed to get out of bed. That worked for about a hell of a week.
Ugh.
And then it's like, dude, is your alarm clock green? No. Why are you in here? I can't
Yeah.
sleep. Neither can I. Go back to your room.
Right. Like that's not my problem. Get in there.
Well, it sucks now too, as we're approaching like the longest day of the year, like June 22nd. So then they're
I've
gonna
already
come up-
been told by my youngest, my 3-year-old. But it's still light outside, Daddy. I know. And you're going to bed
Mhm.
because
Right.
it is your bedtime.
Right.
But
Yes.
it's light outside, Daddy. Stop it.
Mhm.
It's
Bed.
like that's not how that works.
Nope.
Yeah. Do we got any other sports news we want to discuss, or should we wrap up this Manning cast of the unfortunate Mavs loss?
Let's see. The Rangers stink. We already talked about
Well,
that.
the Rangers
Uh,
sting because of the injuries and because they're going up against the best team in baseball. So that's just going to
Yeah.
happen.
Well,
Maybe
the
they'll have a
Giants
chance.
also beat them 2 games out of 3 pretty recently.
Yes. Injuries. As I said,
Injuries have been a problem, but you would think
Yep.
you've got to get something out of Simeon or Seager at some point. Now, yes, Seager's injured again, but
Fingers injured. Simeon, you need to get something out of. The thing is that at the beginning of the year, You knew you were going to have injuries in the arms. You didn't think you'd have Evaldi gone as you did.
No.
and-
Well, you knew you'd have
Yeah.
injuries in the pitching staff that you'd be waiting for, not necessarily in the hitting or fielding department.
we didn't
Now,
expect.
you expected them to
batting-
eventually crop up,
We
but
expected the batting to be. I mean, you expect to have.
the batting
injuries.
is taking a dip.
A dip. It's been a fucking crater.
Yeah.
Dip is a nice way. Yes, you expected to have injuries in the batting too, because that just happens in the normal course of the year.
Eventually, yeah, the
But-
wear and tear will get you.
The bats have completely gone cold. Like as many injuries as you thought.
Well, the
you
problem is
thought
they never
pitching
got
was gonna be the
hot.
problem.
They've been cold. They never
Josh,
No,
got
they've been
hot.
cold the whole season. Everybody thought, okay, you don't have to worry about batting. It's the pitching you have to worry about. But the thing is 65, 70 games in the season, the pitching, even with all the injuries, has been very, very good, very consistent.
It's actually been, yeah, it's been acceptable.
Batting has been absolutely atrocious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your strength that you thought coming into the year has become your biggest weakness. And that's what, and even with all that, in Bochy I trust, he's got to figure it out. And I believe
Yeah.
that he will. I believe that he will, because he hasn't given me a reason not to. I still have to believe, with all the injuries that have happened, he's still working it all out, because
Yeah.
we're still in contention. Now, like we
Yeah.
said earlier, if they get swept by the Dodgers, when they get swept by the Dodgers, and then going against Seattle, you get swept by Seattle. At that point, okay,
Panic button.
well, I'm hovering over the panic button. I'm hovering over it.
We're
Because
almost pulling
Houston-
a Jeff, but not quite there.
Houston has still been sucking, even though they had a nice little surge. They're still
Eh.
sucking, cheating as well.
Sure.
The A's have come back
Yeah.
down to, and the Angels suck ass. In Seattle, even though they're playing the White Sox, which they should sweep, are still known to lose a game, and they could still lose a game, even though they have great
Yeah.
pitching.
I mean, you're still only
bats-
6.5 back. Don't
Uh,
get me wrong, but
Their
they're going to
bats-
have to win this division to make the playoffs.
No.
No,
I don't
we're
see
gonna
a
have to.
wild card coming
That's the
out.
thing, and that's.
I
the
mean,
think
you
they
thing.
get
got
a
one
wild
wild card with Baltimore or New York for sure coming out and getting at least a wild card. Whoever doesn't win that division,
One of those
and then
two is
right
gonna have-
now, KC or Cleveland is looking like your second wild card. Whoever doesn't win the Central,
Well,
True.
Cleveland's going to win the Central.
highly
I- I
probably
don't-
yes.
I don't care what I don't think KC is going to make. I'll say right now.
KC's looking good though. They're
No,
looking
they-
good.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think KC's going to miss the
And that
playoffs
kid,
entirely.
They
what's
got a
his name?
plus 59 run
What's that
differential
kid-
right now.
What's that kid for Kansas City? That's the Dallas kid. Hit
Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt Jr. Not hit Bobby Witt.
It's just
Oh, no.
Sorry, David. You don't get
that's
any.
a yes,
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
different hit junior you're thinking of.
Yeah.
But-
But no, yeah, he's good. And I mean,
Oh, he's fantastic. I mean, he might right now be. I mean,
he'll
Not
have a
mine. He
great
is the
year
best
with
hitting
Kansas City. If
shortstop
they
in
make the
baseball.
playoffs, that's great. If they do in the playoffs, that's great. If they don't, whatever. He'll get traded for a bunch of prospects, and Kansas City will be back down at the bottom again.
highly probable.
no, I just
They
think
do. That's what they do. They'll pressure for a year. They did win the World Series a couple years ago, and they'll pressure, and then they'll trade their guys off and get a bunch of prospects. And then look at that, they were dumpster fire last year, and then this year, hey, looking good again.
Well, the entire Central was really a dumpster fire last year. Like the Twins, I think
Oh,
won
it
that,
absolutely was. The
but
entire
they had a
was.
losing
Oh, yeah.
record.
Terrible. It was terrible.
I think, but man,
But the
Talk
Twins,
about Bobby Wood Jr. again, though. Like, I don't think the Royals as a team are going to last long, but that Bobby Wood Jr., he is an MVP caliber player. He is that good.
Yeah. I mean, is he a rookie or is he?
No, this is really his third
Hmm.
major league season. You just
Okay.
haven't heard about him because he's on the freaking Royals.
Right. I mean, I saw he was 23. That's why I was asking if he's a rookie.
I mean, when you're on a team like the Royals, you have to have a career year to get top, you know, on the national stage.
Yeah, that's true.
But he had a great year last year.
I mean, no one talked about him hitting 30 home runs as a shortstop, 276 batting average, 319 OBP. You want a little better than that. But this year, 326 average, 375, already 11 home runs. I mean, I just, those are MVP stats. I mean, at least in the discussion. And Colleyville's own Bobby Wood.
Colleyville's
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely be able to get in some more baseball coming up. I'm sure next week because the way that it seems like things are going,
Yeah.
it's about to get swept on Friday.
It was a good
Oh.
year. It was a good year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good
Valiant
year.
run, but yeah.
It was a
Seems
good
like it might be
year.
coming to it.
And hey, I hate that I like up till this game 3, I didn't feel like the officials screwed us. I did not feel like that. I know people were saying that after game 2, but I didn't feel like that till
Uh-huh.
right now. Till right now, I didn't feel like that, and I don't like that. That gives me a bad
Right.
taste in my mouth. But it is what it is. You can't complain about it. You can't go on about that. You just have to play the game. But regardless, on our next podcast, we should be pretty baseball heavy, which means I need to really get on to my baseball knowledge here. Hey,
That
the
and a little bit of
Rangers,
Euro Championship.
the Rangers have been able to hide up to this point. They've been able to hide. We haven't had talked about that. We've had other things to talk about, but you know what? Your chickens are coming home to roost. There's going to be a lot of. All we got to do is talk about baseball now. So
Yeah.
it's time to break this shit down. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here this evening. Hope you've enjoyed these Manning casts, our version of the Manning cast. If we need to edit Manning cast out of this for copyright reasons, it'll take care of
Maybe.
that. Anyways, for Jeff Amos, for Caleb Goldberg, this is Chris Porter. We'd like to thank you all for joining us for another episode of Next Round Sports. Gentlemen, always good to enjoy talking sports with you. I will not wear the Kirk jersey again for the rest of the year, but hey,
Fair enough.
cheers.
Cheers.
See everyone at the next round. Oh fucking shit! I'm still fucking pissed at the whole.
Yeah. So I don't blame you. So the rest have kind of been fucking shit up this entire fucking series.